Okay guys, now let's go on questions 27 to 30. Again we've got matching. Who is going to write each of the following parts of the report? Now imagine there are two students, they are going to write a report and there are different parts of the report. One part one person will write, other part other person will write, some parts both of them will write, and some parts they will say we will not write, we don't know about it, we will just ask someone to help us. So option A, Helen only. Now Helen is a female name, right? B is Jeremy only. Jeremy is a male name, so you can identify male female voice easily. C, both Helen and Jeremy. And D, neither Helen nor Jeremy. Okay, now listen carefully. If they say, well, I don't know about it, Helen, why don't you do it? And Helen says, okay, answer is A. If actually Jeremy says, well, I know more about it, so leave this on me. Leave this on me means Jeremy is going to do it. And if he says, I do this part and then you can cover that one, so that is C, both of them are going to do it. And if they say, well, I don't know anything about it, and the other person says, neither do I, so let's just leave this to someone. So they are not going to do it. Now, parts of report 27, how they planned the project, planning. Okay, 27.
So the next thing is to decide what exactly we need to write about in the report that goes with the stories, and how we're going to divide the work.
Right, Helen.
What do you think about including a section on how we planned the project as a whole, Jeremy? That's probably quite important.
Yeah, well, you've had most of the good ideas so far. How do you feel about drafting something? Then we can go through it together and discuss it.
Okay, that seems reasonable.
It is A, right? He said then we can go through together. They're not going to work on it together. Actually, Helen is going to do it. Yeah, I'll play it again.
So the next thing is to decide what exactly we need to write about in the report that goes with the stories, and how we're going to divide the work.
Right, Helen.
What do you think about including a section on how we planned the project as a whole, Jeremy? That's probably quite important.
Yeah, well, you've had most of the good ideas so far.
You have most of the good ideas so far.
How do you feel about drafting something? Then we can go through it together.
How do you feel about drafting something and then we can go through it together? So drafting means writing, preparing. Then we can go through it together. Huh? चलो सारी रात रोंदे रह गए तो मरिया कोई भी ना. हाँ? ये जो इसमें बोल रही है ये छिपकली जो, हाँ, that is Helen. Helen का नाम तो लिया ही नहीं है. So you should understand. That's why initially I told you Helen is a female name. Then I said Jeremy is a male name. हाँ? क्या करें? तो तुसी ना इत्थे कोई काम कर लो चंगा जिहा. Okay guys, question number 28. How they had ideas for their stories. So who will write about it? It's the part of the report. It's not a question. It's not a question how they had ideas. Means in this part, who is going to write it? So 28.
And I could include something on how we came up with the ideas for our two stories, couldn't I?
Well, I've started writing something about that, so why don't you do the same and we can include the two things?
Right.
Yeah, you do the same and we can include the two things. So that is C. Both Helen and Jeremy. और लब्बी Helen के नहीं. लब गई ना उन्होंने वचन नहीं देना. Yeah. 29. Interpretation of their story. So who is going to do that? Interpretation.
So what about our interpretation of the stories? Do we need to write about what we think they show, like the value of helping other people, all that sort of thing?
That's going to come up later, isn't it? I think everyone in the class is going to read each other's stories and come up with their own interpretations, which we're going to discuss.
Oh, I missed that. So it isn't going to be part of the report at all?
No.
It isn't going to be the part of the report at all. End tak sabr to karo. it isn't going to be the part of the report at all. What does it mean? Neither Helen nor Jeremy. Yeah. Yeah. So don't jump towards answer before the audio finishes. Yeah. Then you're saying each other. मैं तो तेनू पहले ही क्या सी हाँ? D for doctor is the right one. Question number 30. Comments on the illustrations. So who is going to comment the pictures, illustrations?
But we need to write about the illustrations because they're an essential element of children's experience of reading the stories. It's probably easiest for you to write that section as you know more about drawing than I do.
Maybe, but I find it quite hard to write about. I'd be happier if you did it.
Okay.
You see that? I'd be happier if you did it. Okay. So the answer is B. Okay is not the answer. B is the answer. All right. Yeah.